She's all right when you get to know her. This is my podcast, and it takes you from your restrictive, toxic, life-limiting 9 to 5 into a life on your terms, full of freedom and flexibility as a self-employed virtual assistant. So whether this is your first introduction into the possibility of becoming a VA, or perhaps you've been doing a bit of Googling already, I'm going to get rid of the overwhelm, rid of the self-doubt, and show you that this life is possible. I've not just started this rodeo, you know. I'm Katya Gladwyn, and I've been doing what you think is impossible since 2015. Shall we get started? Okay, so you know that there is a sea of virtual assistants out there, and sometimes it can feel like you just can't stand out amongst them all. You know, perhaps they've been in business 5, 10 years, or perhaps they're offering a service that you've convinced yourself that you need to offer in order to get clients, or perhaps you've seen that they've niched to a certain sector, and you've been listening to me and you think, well, I've been told not to niche to people that like round leaves on trees or something even more obscure. But how are you going to get in front of potential clients when there's all this competition? It's well easy. And I'm going to tell you exactly how. And then if we put a jingle in there, that would sound great, wouldn't it? If not, I can just hang the laptop out the window because my neighbour has decided that it's a really good time now to fit a block paving driveway. I've been trying to record this for 3 days, but Bob the Builder out there is busy. He's always busy. He's always doing something. I was just wondering if he's going to finish this job. I don't think he finishes all of them. What is it with men and wanting to do stuff like drilling and cutting and stuff? My partner actually gets hives if he's not got a booking for our local recycling thing, you know, the tip. I was trying to think of the proper word for it. There's a tip, isn't it? If he's not got a booking in the calendar, I need to give him antihistamines. Anyway, right. So, yeah, how do you stand out as a virtual assistant? How do you start getting clients? Because in the beginning, you can really just feel like no one's ever going to notice me. And we're going to do a little bit of mindset work in here, actually. But a couple of things that won't help you stand out is something I keep seeing as doing my head in. I might lose some listeners for this, but having a tiny, fluffy microphone pinched into your hands like you're trying with all your might to save the life of a crisp. What is it with these fluffy little microphones? Because I see people with them who were recording themselves quite perfectly before they had a fluffy microphone. I've just spent 2 minutes talking nonsense, haven't I? Anyway, let's talk about how to get you in front of potential clients without it being icky, without it being uncomfortable. In fact, I'm going to make it so comfortable, you're just going to feel like you're not going to feel like you're going to have to wear baggy clothes every day because you're just feeling too comfortable. This is going to be so easy. Are you ready? Boom. Right. So what we're going to talk about is finding your USP. I know that sounds corporate, but you also know me, hopefully by now, and I'm not going to make it corporate. USP is unique selling point, and I'm sure you already knew that. But if you didn't, I am happy to share that. So your unique selling point, what makes you unique? Now, let me list some things that it isn't. It isn't a sector niche necessarily. I mean, if you're niche into the medical industry or to the legal industry, then they're good sector niches. But your sector niche isn't going to be what makes you stand out, because let's remember from podcast episode whatever, when I said about niching, is your niche can actually reduce can you hear it banging? Can actually reduce the number of potential clients out there. So no, a USP isn't necessarily a sector niche. Some people think, right, to get in front of clients, I need to do some sort of discount or a lower hourly rate to begin with, you know, a 30-day offer, 10% off your first block booking with me. No, because all you do, honestly, try it. Honestly, do try it. But no, don't try it. Just honestly, just don't do it. Because if you do a lower hourly rate, people are like, it's just not done in business. People are like, well, why is she doing a lower hourly rate? Is it because she's learning the tasks that she's offering? Or is it that she can't get clients? Why can't she get clients? And it only attracts people that can't afford your full rate. So they think, oh, yeah, I'll take advantage of that. And then when you give them your proper rate, they're like, no, it's all right, I don't need it anymore. So no, don't do that. Discounts on retainers, no. that only takes money away from you. That's like getting on the bus, sitting on the top deck. It's got no roof and it starts raining. No, don't do it. Your real unique selling point is you, but we might not actually have found you yet. So we're gonna have a go at finding you. So let me go back to sector niche at the moment. So another thing about sector niche is, so we're going to find you, we're going to talk about your personality, and that is what's going to make you stand out. That's one thing that's going to make you stand out. But let's combine that. If you had a sector niche, which is really small, so those people that like round leaves on trees, and they're not keen on your personality. So you've got a limited audience anyway, and then they're not really keen on your personality, perhaps for whatever reason, because we can't all get on with everybody. Not everybody's going to like us. Then you're reducing your potential market even further. So that's why we niche on services, okay? And you may think, well, everybody's offering inbox management, everybody's offering email marketing, whatever else you're offering for your clients. But we're making it unique because you are unique. Your personality is unique. The way you speak is unique. You're incredible. And by being yourself, you attract the same sorts of people. Now, if you're neurodivergent, you probably have spent a lot of your life mirroring and masking. But hopefully now, if you know that you're neurodivergent, you're able to start breaking those things down, and you're finding yourself and you're becoming yourself. And we can start doing that now in our social media content, where you can start being you. For those of you who aren't neurodivergent, you may have been masking and mirroring anyway, because you've been in an employed role and you've had to toe the line, you've had to do as you're told, you've had to answer the phone in a certain way. And we can now just unleash those corporate chains and just start being you. Because once you are you, you attract like-minded people. And I think, right, you see, you may have seen posts online where people will often say like, oh, great way to find out who your friends are is to go into business, be a small business owner, because some people lose friends when they go in business. And it's not, I do sometimes wonder if it's because the business owner, you and me, we become ourselves, and we realise that the people we've had around us haven't necessarily been the people we want around us. So that could be the thing there. But yeah, we're going to start by breaking down those chains and looking at like who we think we should be compared to who we are. You imagine yourself in the pub with, if you've got a sister or brother, somebody that's been in your life for a long time, and you know that you are yourself around them, and you've had far too much to drink, they've got to take you home. And the next day you've got no qualms about ringing them up and going, I am so sorry. I know I was a dickhead last night. Yeah, I don't know what I said, but I've got loads of missed calls on my phone from people. And what did I do? And your mate just laughs and tells you all about it, and that sort of thing. They're the people we got to pretend we're talking to. People that get us, people that don't judge us, and we can totally be ourselves. And it just helps to get rid of those that we don't want to be around. So at the moment, I'm putting something together. So I'm going to share with you a few things to help you work out what your tone of voice is, if you like. So a really good way of finding out your tone of voice is to start writing things. So perhaps your content or anything like that, to start writing things as if you're talking. And, because you've probably seen in some of my social media posts, I just put cuz instead of because. So I put CUS because that's how I talk. But I could never have put that in an email when I was working at the National Trust, could I? Dear member number 642,000, we're going to take your membership card away because you've not paid us. It's just not going to work, is it? But I can do it in my business because it's my business. I'll run it how I want to run it. I'll run it how it suits me. I want to enjoy every day. So when you're writing content, just sort of let it flow and just write it as you say it. A good way of doing it actually is perhaps to get a Google Doc open or Otter AI or one of your notes apps or something and put on voice typing and talk and see how it comes out on there. And that's an easy way to see how your tone of voice translates when it's just you being you. So a couple of things to think about when you're trying to find your tone of voice. And I know that, it might sound silly that or you might think it's silly that, you're what, I don't know, 35, 45, 55, 25, however old you are, that you're trying to find your tone of voice at that age. But trust me, if you've been in corporate for a long time, it has been pushed down to the bottom. So it's things like, you know, are you somebody that's clear and concise? You're direct, efficient, and focused on solutions, perhaps. Are you warm and supportive? I'm really bad at putting fluff into things, but some people are just fantastic at making things just sound great. And so is your tone kind and nurturing? Do people feel like you're a safe space in someone's stressful day? Or, do you consider yourself fun and relatable? Is there a real sparkle in your tone, or playful, chatty, and full of personality? Are you empowering and coaching, perhaps? Do you give people opportunities to think for themselves? Because that's what coaching is. Go for a tone, if that's the case, go for a tone that's more encouraging and a little reflective. Perhaps you prefer formal and professional. That's absolutely fine too. Are you polished and precise? It's perfect for, perhaps you're going to hope to target high net worth individuals, or perhaps you really want to focus on proofreading or copywriting or something like that, then it does perhaps need to be maybe a little bit more professional and formal, but you can still put elements of any of the above in there. And I'll put these things in the show notes as well, so that you can have a look at it. But just think about sort of how you want to come across. You don't need to mirror anybody else. You on LinkedIn, there's a whole diverse range of different personalities coming out. I can't name anybody on a podcast because everybody just goes and connects with them, and I get in trouble. I get messages saying, "Have you mentioned me anywhere?" No? Yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, just have a look for different people. Have a look at some of the people that I'm following, or perhaps that I comment on, and you can see the different tone of voice that's coming across. People are their own people, and you will attract then like-minded people. So showing your own personality, you can do that not only in the way that you write your content, but showing enthusiasm for what you do as well, and the enjoyment of the change that you make for clients. So really showing that, do you know what? I'm a virtual assistant. This is my personality. And I bloody love what I do. I absolutely love what I do, because when you love something, it is so much easier for others to love it as well, and to just feel that happiness. You can see people sometimes on LinkedIn and you think, you're always bloody moaning. And it's like, I don't know whether I wouldn't work with someone that's always moaning, because I'd be like, I don't think you're going to enjoy the work, if I'm honest. She's just moaning all the time. But whatever your personality is, perhaps you're calm, really calm, sarcastic, hyper organized, and whatever you are is perfect, because there are other people like they're out you. Like they're out you. There are other people out there like you. We got there in the end. Now, there are going to be things that are different. No two people are identical in their personalities. So how that translates is, so I've been saying, like, once you show your personality, you will attract like-minded people. And what that covers then is something that I've mentioned so many times in these podcast episodes, and that's the know, like, and trust element in. And I mention it lots of times because it is so important. People need to get to know, like, and trust you. They don't just need to see that you can help them with inbox management, you can help them with bookkeeping, or you can help them with lifestyle management. They don't just need to see that. They need to know that you are real, because otherwise it can feel like they're going to possibly do a transaction with somebody that's a bit dodgy, or somebody with no personality, which will be really hard to work with. And yeah, it is just so important. And you can only do that by being yourself and by putting out personal posts. Now, sometimes you've also heard me mention, I sometimes go on a search and rescue for some of my Facebook group members. I'll just pick people at random sometimes and I will have a look at their social media to see why they've got a problem with getting clients. Sometimes they'll come up and they'll say, I'm not getting clients. I've tried everything, blah, blah, blah. And so often their whole feed is just inbox management, email marketing. I do this, I do that. You need a VA because this is what a VA can do. And it's just constant. There's no personality coming through. Now, if I give you an example of what we would consider corporate, right? An early one, if anybody can remember this, is I think it was the Halifax adverts and it was Howard, right? And that really, Halifax was a building society, wasn't it? So really, formal, and they have to be, serious and things like that. But then Howard came into their adverts and he was singing and dancing. I think was he a good singer? There was something about him that wasn't quite right, when it was his dancing a little bit not so good or something like that. But it was funny and it really, really was a massive turning point for, not everything has to be serious. And it made you remember the Halifax. Now, you don't need to start singing and dancing in your post. Don't worry about that. But it's just an example of you don't have to be formal, but you do have to be memorable for people. And when people see that you're like them, you become memorable. Now, another thing is, like, I don't know whether you've seen Audi, Ryanair, and more recently Currys are really having some real fun with their social media. So if you've seen the ongoing legal issues with Audi and Marks and Spencer's were very formal about it. Audi are just taking the piss, basically, because they copied Colin the Caterpillar and Marks and Spencer's took him to court, I think, and lost. I think they lost. Ryanair take the piss because people are like, oh, they'll post something and tag Ryanair in, complain that there's not enough leg room, or they asked for a window seat and they didn't get one, and Ryanair social media on Threads and all of that will come back with a really sarcastic reply. And Currys have started doing some fantastic social media as well. I don't think they've been taking the mickey out of anybody complaining or anything like that. They're just doing some really funny adverts and really showing a personality. That's changed things for me because I hate going in Currys. Currys, B&Q, Pinterest. I don't like those three things. They make me angry. But I'm coming round to Currys because of their fun commercials and social media. So yeah, allow people to get to know you. People need to see you. So show up online regularly and use your face. Now, I know that it is really hard because you think that people are going to judge you on how you look, and they're not. If they do you really want to work with those people? But you do have to show your face online. You do have to show that there's a face behind the business because, like I said a minute ago, it just feels like a really horrible transaction if you don't kind of get to know somebody a little bit. And I don't mean going out for dinner with them or anything like that, or having a Zoom call every 3 weeks, but let people see your face. Now, I know the importance of that. You can see the stats online. I could try to find them now, but I can't be bothered. But there are stats online that clearly show that people need to see the face behind the business. It helps to attract potential clients, but it also helps to convert potential clients into paying clients. And that is ultimately what we need. Now, anything will do. I've done videos from in my hospital bed whilst really high on, I can't remember the name of the drug, but it's an opioid, after I'd had neurosurgery. And, I've done photos from my bed, not like that. I'm not on OnlyFans. I just mean like led down and doing that and showing that this is a great opportunity, this business, for being a virtual assistant if you've got a chronic health issue. But there is a workaround. If you're not comfortable showing your face, then you may have seen me promoting using AI to create images of you. Now, I put something on LinkedIn, I think, this week. And if you email me podcast@katherinegladwyn.co.uk, I will show you the photo or the link to that LinkedIn post if you can't find it. I put a photo up of me, 2 photos. One was me that morning, and one was an AI generated picture of me. And my best friend couldn't tell the difference. And my partner took a few seconds to find the difference as well. It was only because of the background that my partner found it quite quickly, because I had the background was our living room, so that kind of gave it away. But yeah, It is incredible. And I use AI not because I'm embarrassed to take photos or I'm worried about how I'll be looking online. It's because things that are really easy for some people are really hard for me. So this is quite embarrassing, but I'm going to share it with you anyway because I am all about honesty. But getting up, showering, doing my hair, putting my makeup on is enough for me. I then can't do anything all day. My eyes become sunken, they become bloodshot, they're small, I can hardly open them. Trying to muster up a smile that reaches my eyes is absolutely impossible. So, although I've had professional photos done in the past and I've done a selfie course, I find it incredibly hard to create images of myself, to put images of myself together for my social media. So I've started using AI. And like I said, I will show you an example of how incredibly accurate they are. And one of my team members, and she said this openly, so she won't mind me saying, is Kaylee, she said it publicly, the anxiety that she gets when she's trying to get ready to take some nice photos. Is my hair going to look all right? Or do I need to put on any makeup? Does my skin look okay? And then the anxiety just exhausts her that she's got no energy to even take any pictures. She's stressed. It's not worth it. But she knows the importance of having your face out there. And she started doing this AI course, and her pictures are just absolutely tremendous. They all look like the couple of pictures that she's got of herself that she's happy with. They are absolutely incredible. But you can then ask this AI to put different outfits on you, to have your hair in different ways. I want it in a bun. I want it in a messy bun. I want it in a low ponytail or something like that. Absolutely anything. I've created some for my best friend, Joe. And Joe is a massive gym buddy and Gym bunny. That's it. I haven't been for so long, I don't know the lingo. And so I've managed to do photos of her where she's toned and, and it looks fantastic. So if for any reason you don't want the faff or the trouble of having to stress yourself out taking photos, or if you've got a partner like me that can't take a photo, even if I have managed to get myself ready and open my eyes, then you're going to love this AI course. And it's by my friend Katya Varbanova. I will put a link in the show notes, but also if you come into my Facebook group, the link's in there, or just put a post in there saying, can I have a link to the AI course? It is currently $67, which at today's exchange rate is £50 and 39p. Now, hold on a minute, because it is $67 at the moment, but it is on offer. So let's just hold on a minute. Yeah, so it's $67. It's a one-off payment, but when she puts the price up, it's going to be $297, and it's absolutely worth that. You become addicted though. That's the problem. So you're going to have to perhaps put a timer on it, because I'm making photos all the time, just stupid ones as well. I was doing one the other day and I thought, do you know what? If I was still employed, I could create photos of myself in the hospital. So I was mucking about and I thought, I'm going to do it now. So I put the prompt in, create a photo of me with a massive bandage on my head and an oversized safety pin. Sometimes it doesn't do them quite right. So it managed to put a picture of me in a hospital gown, in a hospital setting, with a massive bandage on my head. But I had a toothbrush coming out of the bandage. So I don't know where that came from. Sometimes it doesn't get it right, but yeah, definitely 9.5 times out of 10 it does. And it's so much fun. And it will help you tick off that know, like, and trust so much easier. So yeah, the like element, that's the personality part. So let them in, your dogs, your cups of tea. How strong do you take your cup of tea? The school run chaos, your brand of humour, perhaps you struggle with humour. That's fine, share that. And then the trust element. By getting to know somebody, by seeing somebody, that trust is built up. Show consistency. When you get client testimonials, then show that. Talk about the transition that you will make for clients or that you have made for clients. Talk about your boundaries. Ask other people what their boundaries are. You really just sort of have a conversation with people and engaging on other people's posts as well. There's I can't remember her name at the moment, but she commented on something of mine on LinkedIn. Barbie. Her name is Barbie. Why can't I remember her name? I think it's because I preferred Cindy as a kid. Sorry, Barbie. But she commented on something that I'd commented on yesterday on LinkedIn, and it was like, "Barbie, really?" But it made me laugh, and it will make other people that find that kind of thing funny laugh. But it will also repel people as well, and that's fine, because you don't wanna work with people that don't laugh at stuff, do you? Oh. So, personal stuff, I've just quickly said about that, but sharing personal stuff, there's always some things that you may want to keep to yourself. And you may be thinking, well, I don't really want to share that, but I guess I have to because it'll let people get to know me. No, share what you want to share. You share what you're comfortable with. I've had people say to me in the past, why do you go on about your, brain tumor and things like that? Because you'll see in every post that I'm raising awareness. They took a long time to find my brain tumor, and it might be why I struggle now with it and why it keeps coming back. One will never know. So it's about raising awareness. And it's also raising awareness of the charity as well, the Pituitary Foundation, because I've raised thousands for them over the years. I donate thousands every year as well, personally, myself, from my own pocket. So, and that the Pituitary Foundation helps so many people. So it's about raising awareness, but it also lets people know about me as well. People know that I've got a chronic health condition, and other people with chronic health conditions feel safe coming to me, and they know that I'm going to understand when they talk about fatigue or things like that. So it is nice to share personal things, but it is always your boundaries. You make your boundaries. So, even if it's a quick video showing how one of your dogs can fetch a stick and the other one just runs in the opposite direction, or you could show your coffee mug collection, you know? Anybody else got, does anybody else have 2 coffees a day from the same mug but has got a collection of 64 coffee cups and it's growing? I'm saying that, for myself. I cannot help myself. I think it comes from when I was little. My dad used to put me in skips to get stuff out of it. And if I ever walk past a house and it says free, out yourself, I always look and think, where do I need that? Where can I put it? Well, we walked past a house the other day and it was free, help yourself. So I'm straight in there. There's a box of mugs. And there were 2 nice ones in there and I thought, I need them. And I thought, no, I don't. So I haven't got anywhere to put them. But I said, oh, perhaps my daughter needs them. And my partner said to me, no, she's already said we got to stop getting her cups. So I had to leave them. But yeah, I can't walk past free stuff. Or perhaps some sort of funny behind the scenes thing, Perhaps your number of notebooks or anything like that. Anything. It just attracts like-minded people. But yeah, if you've got an Instagram account, have a scroll through it, because this is what had started happening with mine. Have a scroll through your Instagram account and see if you can find any photos of you in there. And think about how that would look from a client's point of view. If they can't see that there's somebody behind this, is it a real business? Is it a robot chucking stuff out there just trying to get my money? Always, every so often we need to sort of think about our marketing and our content and look at it from the client's perspective. So, what happens when you're truly yourself? So I've already said this. You repel people, but those people are the wrong clients, because you can't relate to them. They can't relate to you. And it makes that working relationship really difficult. Perhaps you like to have a giggle on your emails, and you like to be you. I had somebody once in my DMs. You got to remember, I've been in business 10 years, so I'm going to have had, negative experiences in that time. But somebody messaged me on LinkedIn wanting my services as a VA, and I replied, and I didn't put, let's say her name was Susan. I honestly don't remember what her name was. So I didn't put Dear Susan. I just put, thanks for getting in touch. Yes, I can help you with that. Blah, 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 blah. Let me know if you'd like any more information. Or I put, here's my website so you can find out more about me, or something like that. That was it. She came back and she went, I would not work with you. 1, you didn't address me, right? 2, you didn't sign off for your name. What the fuck? No, that's not me. I just, I don't need to put Dear Susan or to Susan, because there's only 2 of us in this chat. So it's obviously to you. It's just not how I interact. I've said earlier on in this podcast as well, I just can't fluff things out. I'm one of them that just has to get to the point, So, and yeah, I won't tell you what I replied to her, but it's like, well, love, no, I won't tell you. But when you are yourself, you attract dream clients who get your vibe. Now, if you think about, if you're still in employment or if you are not long out of employment or whatever, you can still remember that there's people that you worked with that you wouldn't pick to work with. You know, if sacking somebody was easy and if you were able to sack somebody in whatever position you were in as an employee, you would have got rid of them. Just, might even be just because they wouldn't stop hitting their keyboard really loudly or something like that. You don't have to have that stress as a virtual assistant, as a business owner. You can attract people that you will get on with, that get your vibe, that get your sense of humor, that get your personality, that understand things, that wind you up, that perhaps don't wind everybody up. You could talk about misophonia or anything like that. And yeah, it is just wonderful. I am still friends with a lot of the clients that I had to sadly give to my associates when I had my last surgery. It was going to be a 12 to 18 month recovery period, and I'd already found that I was forgetting things or making sort of weird mistakes with things. So I had to get rid of a few and pass them over to my wonderful associates. And I still WhatsApp some of them now because it's easy to have a conversation with them. Yeah, no, it's lovely. In fact, I've just remembered I must WhatsApp one now because I haven't for ages. He's lovely. So by being yourself as well, you build a business that's sustainable because you're enjoying it, because you don't have to pretend. You're not like waking up in the morning and thinking, oh God, I got to do this, that, and the other for old grumpy knickers. It's sustainable. When you're enjoying something, you want to keep doing it. It's like a hobby. I've said before, every day is like being a kid playing with the Fisher Price post office set. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, like I said about the AI course, but I've also got something really exciting up my sleeve as well. So uh, I'm going to tell those that are on probably my newsletter list first. I'm going to tell them about it first. They'll get first dibs. So if you're not already signed up to CG Tips, then do that. The link is in my bio over on Instagram. But of course, you can always email me, podcast@katherinegladwyn.co.uk, or pop into the Facebook group and we can give you the link in there as well. If you want the link to the AI course that I mentioned, it is absolutely fantastic. It took me 2 hours to train AI to create images of me. It's unbelievable. So if you want the link to that, I'm an affiliate for it, which means if you use the link, then I may benefit financially. That's what an affiliate is. But I do not ever recommend anything that I haven't used. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'll put the link in the show notes, but also you can email me for that. And yeah, let's find your USP. So this is quite a short one, this one, but I hope it's been useful. If you're ready to reclaim your independence, then subscribe to this podcast because there is so much I'm going to give you. You've got to subscribe on your favourite channel, it says. What channel? I ain't going to be on the BBC, am I?